After ignoring the disaster in East Palestine, Ohio for nearly 2 weeks, the Biden administration now says the area is totally safe, just as long as you're wearing a hazmat suit, or better yet, as long as you don't actually visit it. All the dead fish and the chlorine smell in the air, whatever, totally normal. Your nose does not know. J.D. Vance is a senator from the state of Ohio. He's also from Ohio, and he had some questions, so he went to East Palestine, which seemed like a pretty simple step. A lot of people can't manage it, but he did. And after visiting, he challenged the EPA administrator, Michael Regan, to drink a glass of tap water in the town of East Palestine. Weirdly, Michael Regan has not accepted that challenge. We are grateful to have Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio with us tonight. Senator, thanks so much for coming on. I notice a lot of the people who are reassuring us about how fine East Palestine is don't really want to go there. In fact, they've avoided going there. Do you think Regan will drink the tap water?
I don't suspect that he will, Tucker, and a lot of residents, unfortunately, are not comfortable drinking the tap water either. And it's easy not to see why, Tucker. The thing that I came away from after visiting today is that, one, residents are very, very scared, obviously, but they are also not getting answers from their authorities about exactly what's going on, what's being done to clean up the disaster. And on that point in particular, Tucker, the railroad has completely failed to clean up the toxic soil that's leaking into the riverways, into the waterways, and into the groundwater. So there's this question about testing and whether we're testing the water enough. The question that I have is, why haven't they cleaned up the contaminated soil that's going to eventually contaminate the groundwater no matter what?
So you've been criticized for suggesting that maybe people who are still in East Palestine drink bottled water, and that's scaremongering because apparently we should just follow the science and do what we're told. Why would someone criticize you for counseling caution?
You know, I have no idea, Tucker. I think that there's a complete refusal to deal with the fact that a lot of residents are freaked out on the ground. Obviously, people want to get back to their lives. They also want to know that they're safe. And the thing that's very clear, if you talk to the EPA, if you talk to the CDC, they cannot tell us what a clean threshold is for the water. So on the one hand, you have to measure the water to know how much of this contaminant is in it. On the other hand, you have to know at what level the contaminant is low enough that it's clean water, that it's safe for humans to drink. We've been completely unable to get a good answer from any federal authorities to that question. And if I can't get that answer, and I'm a United States Senator, that suggests that the people of East Palestine who want to be cautious have every right to do it. The simple fact is, Tucker, that unless we go in and study the effect of vinyl chloride on human beings, we're never going to be able to say with confidence what is going to happen to the residents of East Palestine. They want to rebuild their community. They want to get back to normal life, but they can't do it unless the government does its job.
That's right. By the way, if you say you're an environmentalist and care about the environment, you should care about the air and the soil and the water. You know, climate is not the environment, I would say. J.D. Vance, a senator from Ohio who took the time to visit one of his own communities. We appreciate it. Thank you.